Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I don't know if I'm choppy or how you can see me today. I'm actually at a hotel and it didn't look like the internet was really good. So give me a thumbs up if I look okay. You can hear me. If I'm not choppy, if I'm blurry, let me know if I'm blurry, if I'm choppy. Let me, if you can't see me, let me know you can't see me. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Let me give some shout outs and we will get started. Good morning, Candace. Good morning, Lakeisha. Good morning, Rita. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Tarshila. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Shanika. Uh, Candy, Kay, and I. And anyway, good morning to you. I don't know what your name is or who you are. Maybe you can put in the chat and I'll recognize you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Lakeisha. Jerry. Good morning to you. The Lion's Den looks like a new viewer. Good morning to you. And good morning to you, Ray. Good morning, everybody. So today is Marketplace Monday. We're ready. Good morning, Natasha. Good to see you. Got a lot of new faces today. Good morning, everybody. We're talking about Marketplace Monday. Good morning, Keita. Uh, and we have been speaking on, and we've been talking about over the last, I guess, several weeks, enthusiasm in the marketplace, right? Making yourself, whether you're a leader, whether you're an employee, a worker, but making yourself a better employee, making yourself more effective in the marketplace, and being more of an impact, right? And some of the things that we were talking about as far as bringing enthusiasm to the marketplace. Number one is we talked about communicating positively. We talked about having a positive outlook, considering different perspectives. We talked about committing to the job. We talked about helping to produce a positive culture within the work. And what we want to talk about, or what I really want to get on today, is helping others. Today, I want to talk about empathy. Empathy. Empathy in the marketplace. I think it's something that is lacking. And let me just say this before I get started. Empathy is different than feeling sorry for somebody. Or let me just say this. Empathy is not the action of feeling sorry for somebody. A lot of times we do things for people because we feel sorry for them. People don't need us to feel sorry for them. People need us to help develop them. And feeling sorry for somebody and doing things from a position of feeling sorry for them does not help them. It just makes them feel like they're a charity case, like they need a handout. People don't need you to feel sorry for them. Sometimes people need tough love, right? But that does not mean that you don't listen, and it does not mean that you don't empathize. Give me a thumbs up if the broadcast is looking okay. If you're seeing it okay, if you're hearing it okay, if it's not blurry, give me a thumbs up. If there's a problem with it on your end, let me know, blurry sound, et cetera. I'm just trying to make sure we're doing okay. But again, empathy, let me just state this as we talk about empathy. Empathy is not feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy is not charity. Empathy is not church. Empathy is a real thing, okay? So let's look at empathy today. So first of all, the word empathy simply means the ability to understand and share the feelings of one another. Simply put, empathy is simply the ability to understand and share the feelings of one another. So again, that's not church, that's not charity, right? It's you're trying to understand, you're trying to put yourself in that person's shoes. You're trying to help them understand how they're thinking about something the wrong way, how they could think about something a different way. Now, you have to understand there are people, because of where they're at spiritually, right? Now, here comes the spiritual side of it. They are sucked into drama. They have a very fleshy spirit, and as a result of having a fleshy spirit, they're not looking for empathy. They're not even looking to get help. They're just looking to have drama. Their life is fed with isms and schisms and drama. And let me tell you something about those people. Those people, you have to confront them, and you have to let them know that you know. Look, you kind of like drama. So I'm going to empathize with you, but if I see that you continue to move towards drama and you truly don't want to get to a solution, I can't help you with that. So you got to be careful at work, in the workplace, in the church place, everywhere, that you're not feeding in to people who truly aren't looking for life. There are a lot of people that are settled with their life. Their actions say they're settled with their life. Their actions say that they're not going to get any better. They're going to act like they're getting better, but they're not. So you got to be aware of this at work. So let me give you these three things, and this will really help you. Again, empathy is what we're talking about today, having empathy for people, and that is the ability to understand and share the feelings of one another. So empathy starts, number one, there's three core parts to it. Number one is cognitive empathy, right? And cognitive empathy is simply the ability to understand someone else's perspective and what they might be thinking and feeling. So let me say it again. Cognitive empathy is the ability to understand one's perspective, someone else's perspective, where they're coming from with the situation that they're dealing with or they're going through, right? And what they might be thinking or feeling. So that's number one. It's three parts. Number two is what we call emotive empathy. Emotive empathy. Emotive empathy is feeling with someone, right? Feeling with them. Your pain in my heart. How about that? Your pain in my heart. Pastors feel this a lot, right? The person's pain in their heart. It goes beyond just cognitive, and it is not above or part of them, but you're not above or part of them, but together you're with them. So that's the thing to understand. It's not about you being part, you being above. It's about you being with them. You standing shoulder to shoulder with them, with that person, right? And trying to understand their feelings, what they're going through, how they're experiencing whatever they're experiencing. It could be that the boss just demoted them, and you standing with them on, hey, they got demoted. Right now, they're really in their feelings, right? They want to go tell them off. They want to quit, but that's not the smart thing to do, because their livelihood depends on it. So you getting in the heart of their pain, getting into their heart with them, standing shoulder to shoulder with them, trying to understand what they're going through and how they are feeling, right? So number one, cognitive, right? Understanding someone else's perspective. Number two, emotive, right? Kind of standing shoulder to shoulder with them, right? And then number three is empathetic action. Empathetic action. And empathetic action is the doing part of empathy. So empathetic action is the doing part of empathy. It goes beyond simply understanding others and sharing their feelings. It actually moves upon us to take action and help wherever we can. Now, we've got to remember, this is kind of it's not kind of, we are Christians. This is a Christian broadcast. So when it comes to the take action part and literally helping them, we got to be careful with that. A lot of Christians help people out of their flesh. They do what they do to help people out of their flesh. It seems like a good thing to do. And as Christians, we're good-natured people. But God didn't tell you to do that. And you have to understand something. When you do something out of your flesh that God didn't tell you to do, now you're responsible for the resources. You're responsible for everything it takes personally to bring that to fruition, because God didn't tell you to do it. And a lot of times, especially in Christianity, when we help people without God's approval, without God telling us that's what we need to do, we're doing that because we want to be God. And this is where we got to be careful with empathy. Because sometimes in having an empathetic spirit, we start to try to replace things for people and become things to people and for people that God never intended. Well, Pastor, how do I know if God's telling me to do it? Well, number one, if God's telling you to do it, remember, it's something that will be confirmed by 2 or 3 witnesses. By 2 or 3 witnesses, right? It's something you should have mentors, and you have to go, hey, I got this lady in my church, at my job, and she's going through this, and this with her kids, let's just say, right? She's talking about you're being empathetic with her, you're trying to help her. And, I believe God's telling me to intervene and mentor that kid. Did you go talk to your pastor about that? Did you go talk to one of your business mentors about that? Just get a different perspective about what goes into that. What's going to be required of you. Sometimes we don't count the cost and we don't understand things that we get into. Then we get into them and we want to know why. God, how did I get here? You got there on your own. So when it comes to being empathetic, especially because we are Christians and especially at work, I've seen people do all kind of crazy things. Somebody's car breaks down and now you feel empathetic for them because you're a Christian, and you think the empathetic action to take is for you to go pick them up every day and take them to work. But you didn't think about, you live in Kissimmee and they live in Oviedo. You didn't count that cost before you opened up your mouth. You didn't think about it was going to be another $8 in tolls every day because you're going down the toll roads, right? Remember what Pastor always tells you, doing the right thing in the wrong season is still the wrong thing. So even when we're having empathy, there's nothing wrong with always in the workplace having cognitive empathy, trying to understand somebody, trying to reason with them, trying to understand their perspective, putting yourself in their shoes. Emotive empathy is even something that you could do. Understand their pain. Put yourself in their shoes. Hey, girl, I've been there before. I understand what you're going through. Man, if I could, pray with you, or if you need somebody to talk to, I could be here for you. Those are all things you can always do. But when you step in to number 3, empathetic action, that's where you really, because you're a Christian, you need to seek the counsel of the Holy Spirit. And you need to make sure that the Holy Spirit is backing up what it is that you're about to do. 2 reasons. Number 1, you want God with you, because if God's with you, then he's going to supply. That's number 1. Number 2, the other thing you got to do is you need to make sure that you're not trying to be something to those people that God didn't ordain for you to be. That even goes with parents and their adult children. Parents and their adult children. Yeah, I've told my wife before any of our kids come back home to live in our house, if for something happened to them and some strange reason happened, I would pay their rent before I let them come back to my house, because they're adults. They have their own thinking, their own way of being, and they're not going to, that don't mix no more. That boat has sailed. So what does that mean? Well, if I can't afford to pay for them a place to stay, then I can't help them, and they got to figure that out. A lot of parents struggle in empathetic action when it comes to their children. A lot of parents struggle in letting their kids find their way, letting their kids figure out the way. They struggle with that. So anyway, again, write down those 3 things that we went over today, right? Three forms of empathetic action: cognitive, emotive, and then lastly, empathetic action. Remember, the first 2, always do it. Seek God, do those things, help people out. The last one, you really need to pray and make sure that you're getting good guidance and you're hearing from the Holy Spirit on that. Listen, I love you. I love you. I love you. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. I will be here, my wife and I, for Marriage Tuesday. Please join us in the morning. Love you guys. Until then, I will see you. Listen, if you didn't get a chance to see yesterday's sermon and you're a member of Life Transforming Ministries, you need to go see it. I am teaching on the purpose, the essential purposes of the local church. You need to get in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until tomorrow, Pastor Nick saying, enjoy